Good morning, Rebecca Vigus, the writer whisperer here on a sunny yet chilly South Central Kentucky day. It's only going to get to, what did I figure out, 30 something today? Yeah, it's going to be chilly. Um, Julia Cameron's The Sound of Paper this morning in her chapter called Buds. The window where I write overlooks Riverside Park. It is a dim day in late spring, and the park hovers between seasons. It is chilly if you are out there walking. It is seductively highly green if you are looking out. The trees are frothed with the lightest hint of green. Just like the weather, I am between seasons, newly done with writing a long, hard, wintry book and not yet awake to the fruitful summer of leisurely writing time that lies in front of me. Like the spring trees, I am putting out buds, the promises of future work. My short daily essays are the buds I put on the bare branches. If I am alert enough and an optimist, I can see these buds and know that something rich is coming in. I am experienced enough to know that the light green misting promises full foliage and the real ideas that will emerge just as surely as the trees below my window will be heavy with green before too long. It is hard as an artist to live with the seasonality of work and of mood. It is too easy to feel when each season's work ends. That's it. It will never come again. This is one reason that seasoned artists like to devise ways to keep gently working. If you are at all like me, ideas come almost daily, and I put them in the computer under some story start, under the first line, something so that it's there that I can go back to it as I let this bud slowly open into something real. Today, I had lunch with my daughter, the actress. She is finishing a longish run in a well received play. And while the show does not open, and while the show closes next week, she faces her first unscheduled downtime in nearly 8 months. She has been asked to go to Idaho and do a play there, but she wants to stay in New York, where the action is. She is too young to believe, as I do, that the action is everywhere and the play in Idaho might be as dead center and important an experience for her as anything happening in Soho. And so she will stay in New York and hope and worry until she is hired again. I sympathize, but I think that it's dangerous to let our creative future lie too firmly in the hands of others, even the fates. Creativity, oh, excuse me. Creativity lies in the doing, not in the done. As artists, we all sense this, but often forget it. Writers need to keep writing in between writing assignments, in between projects. Actors need to act, whether in acting class or by preparing a piece for open mic. Fine artists need to keep their hands sketching. A painter called me yesterday to tell me excitedly about a visit she had had with a master painter and the advice he had given to her. What was it? I asked. He told me to paint, she reported breathlessly. Not to paint just what I had to paint, but also to paint what I wanted to paint. Just to paint anything, anything at all. That would keep me from going stale and dried up. Artists who do not keep playing at their art run a very real risk of going stale and dried up. The writer who works, the writer who writes a hard book and screeches to a halt, exhausted, runs the risk of writer's block. A block of time where anything feels easier than writing. The painter who paints only on commission runs the same risk, and a corollary one. I'm not a real artist, I'm a hired gun. In the making of art, when we feel that we have no art in us that makes an artistic career, its pages logged, it is pages logged when the well feels dry, the painting painted when the palette is parched, the monologue learned for no damn reason that keeps the gears turning. Ditto for the fine arts photographer who holds the camera and takes to the streets, even though real work is in a carefully lit studio, as calculated as a NASA shot. Goethe told us, whatever you think you can do or believe you can do, begin it. Action, boldness has magic, grace, and power in it. What better advice to the playwright who is between plays with just the inkling of an idea? What good for the words for the novelist who is toying with a rare short story idea? What good words or in between ideas? I wrote an entire album of children's animal songs, and another time an album filled with flower songs. Doing the light ideas we have adds up to longer ideas, often very good ones. As artists, we do well to be like a profligate gardener, scattering a profusion of seeds and not weeding through too closely at first. My book, The Artist's Way, began as tiny essays, the thoughts grabbed on the run before a class or an afternoon or after an afternoon's schoolwork with my daughter. The book grew an essay at a time, a thought at a time, because that was all I had time for. And besides, I really wasn't writing, but I was. An artist moves through life like a thresher. Great swaths of experience get mowed down and churned up and spewed back out as art. Our job is so often just to keep the gears moving. Let the sieve of our experience pass across the field of life. Left the cuttings behind. Let the cuttings be what they are: books, songs, paintings, poems, the passing glories of each day's gentle march. You don't often think of words as being tiny little buds or ideas as being tiny little buds of thought. You don't. It just isn't done. And yet, that's exactly what it is. Your mind tosses out little seeds of ideas every day in the things you observe, the people you interact with, the people you just watch, your drive or commute to or from work, what you had for lunch, the customer who was unhappy, the boss who seems to be breathing down your neck. All of these things feed ideas, guys. Every single one's a seed. Do you have to write about the boss who's always looking over your shoulder, always questioning everything you do? Nah, you don't. But you could. He's the guy making you second guess yourself, or she is the person. I'm not sure why I'm yawning this morning. I've been up for hours. Who makes you feel inadequate? And why do you react to this person this way? Because you're not inadequate. You're very capable. So today's writing prompt is a bit different. It's called Buds. Try this. Put on a pair of comfortable walking shoes. Give yourself 45 minutes for a good amble. Okay, so you're walking so far out and so far back. Take yourself out of the house and onto the trail. It can be city or country. Time matters more than the locale. Just get out and walk. As you walk, hold lightly in mind an area of your work that you consider to be in bud, the beginning stages. We all have them. Use your walk to explore and expand the dimensions of the area you're interested in. What's this little idea you've got that you want to expand on, look at from different directions? Just let it bloom in your mind and go where it wants to go. You may walk out with a seed of a story and walk back in with an idea in full bloom. When you walk back in, write that full blooming idea down. Don't let it get away. Write it down. Let it germinate. Do your morning pages, but let it germinate for as long as it needs to. A day, 2, a week. Keep on with your morning pages and let it nag back there until it says, I've got it. Open up your full bloom wherever you left it, in your notebook, on the computer, wherever you've left that piece of writing, and go to it. Enjoy your weekend. Get out, do some traveling on your feet. They're a great mode of transportation. And happy writing.